Breathe California of the Bay Area was founded in 1911 as the Tuberculosis Society of Santa Clara County, and it has been in continuous existence ever since. Their mission is to fight lung disease in all its forms through a number of critical programs. I'm Grace Trafton of The Better Part. Stay tuned and learn more about this dedicated organization. Our guests today are Michelle Lamb, who is a public health coordinator for the tobacco program, and Madison Stanley, who is a senior at the University of Oregon, majoring in psychology and is currently working as an intern. Welcome to you both.
Thank you for having us.
First, let me ask you, Michelle, how long have you been with Breathe California of the Bay Area, and what attracted you to this organization?
I started off as an intern back in 2017 in September, and what attracted me to the organization was their mission. I really resonated with it because about a year before I started there, my grandpa actually passed away from lung cancer.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
What is the primary focus of your job?
I work specifically on the tobacco education and advocacy program. So I complete a lot of educational presentations to the community. I work on smoke-free policies, and I also assist agencies who want to implement a cessation program at their facility.
And Madison, I'm sure there are many internship opportunities available. Why did you choose Breathe California, and what do you do there?
I chose to intern with Breathe California because of a combination of my passion and interest in the environment and community. I grew up in the Bay Area and I've lived here for 21 years. And I also study environmental health and policy at the University of Oregon, so it was a good combination of both of those things for me. At my internship, I focus on working on various social media platforms. I send out e-newsletters, and I'm also able to help plan some of our events, such as our Breath of Life walk.
Oh, excellent. So what do you find most satisfying about your job?
Just being able to help the community and working with a great group of people.
And how about you, Michelle? What's most satisfying about your work?
I think everything that I do is pretty satisfying. So if I go and do an educational presentation to youth, I know that I am sparking a conversation among them. And if I work on smoke-free policies, I know that it's going to protect residents from secondhand smoke.
And can you tell us a little bit about the history of Breathe California of the Bay Area?
Yeah, so we originated in 1911 with the mission to fight tuberculosis across Santa Clara County. And throughout the years, our name has changed, but our mission remained the same, and that was to fight tuberculosis. In 1950 and onwards, we expanded our mission to fight lung disease in all of its forms.
In all its forms. That's excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are actually 5 organizations of Breathe California in our state. Is that correct?
Yes, we have many sisters across California.
So there's one in Sacramento, one in LA, one that's called Golden Gate.
Yeah, that one's in SF.
And one in, what, Central Valley?
Mm-hmm, like the Central Coast.
Very good, very good. What are some of the programs that you provide?
We have a wide range of programs and services. We have some that help people with lung disease, some that help people quit smoking, and we have other programs that help people with asthma.
And what do these programs consist of?
Well, they reach out to various groups of people. They may not all be the same or have the same target audience, but they help educate, and we provide advocacy for those people.
Who does Breathe California serve?
We serve about 40,000 people in the Bay Area. We serve people who have lung disease and their loved ones. We serve people who are at risk for lung disease, like people who have problems with smoking or want to quit, and then we also serve the general public and community.
Environmental stewardship is one of your programs. What does that involve exactly?
So we have educational programs that are geared towards reducing indoor and outdoor air pollution. In the Bay Area, the #1 cause of air pollution is vehicles. And to combat that, we work with the Silicon Valley Clean Cities Coalition. It is one of 100 such coalitions in the United States, and it's funded by the Department of Energy. We have a lot of education and resources for fleeting managers and consumers who want to purchase the most advanced vehicles and alternative fuels. And we can also assist them with finding grants to help fund that.
And how about indoor air quality assessments? What's involved with that?
So that helps residents detect respiratory health risks that can be problematic for individuals, especially those with allergies or asthma. So we have a checklist, and that's based off of the EPA checklist. And we'll do a physical walkthrough of the home, school, or childcare facility and look through each of the rooms and see if there's any hazards. We'll let the individual know what the hazards are and what recommendations we have, and we'll gather that into a report. We'll then check in with them to see if any progress has been made and if they need another walkthrough. Most of the recommendations that we make are very cheap and easy fixes, like just getting rid of dust magnets or just changing like the filter of an air purifier or something like that.
Now, if someone wants to have an assessment, do they just contact you
Yes.
to make an appointment?
Mm-hmm.
And your services are completely free?
Yes, they're free if you're in the certain counties that we serve.
And what counties do you serve?
We serve Santa Clara, San Benito, and many other counties across the Bay Area, but it kind of would depend on the program.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
And tell us about your asthma program.
We aim to teach parents, child care providers, and children how to manage their asthma. And then we also have a camp we put on every summer for kids ages 6 to 12. It's called Camp Super Stuff. And the kids are able to go and do fun summer camp activities while learning about how to manage their asthma, and they're able to meet peers who deal with the same problem.
Why is sleep apnea included as one of your programs? Because it's not really a lung health issue, is it?
It's a serious breathing disorder. I'm very familiar with it because my dad actually has it. So it's a disorder where the muscles in the back of your throat relax while you're sleeping, and they make it very difficult to breathe. So we offer people CPAP machines and BiPAP machines that are able to help them with the condition.
Are these machines free to the person?
These machines can cost up to $2,000, especially with some insurances that don't cover it. So our organization takes gently used machines and we redistribute them to people for a fraction of the cost, which is just a suggested donation.
Oh, I see. How about services for people who want to quit smoking? I quit over 25 years ago, and I think it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my whole life.
Well, first of all, congratulations on quitting. It's a really difficult journey. Breathe California offers various programs that would fit the needs of any quitter. So we offer the Ash Kicker 6-session group program, a brief counseling and self-help book, and also a telephone support. We also have a program that is catered to seniors and 2 programs catered to youth. For youth, there's one program that's a multi-session, and then there's another program that is like an alternative to suspension if they're caught using tobacco products on campus. For more information, you can give us a call at 408-998-5865 or just visit our website at breathebayarea.org.
So are there lots of people in this program?
Yes, there's a lot of people who sign up specifically for like the Ash Kickers one because they do like group support, but it would also kind of vary on what support you would need.
And is there quite a bit of difference in approach to seniors, for instance, as opposed to young people?
There is a little bit of a difference. For youth, we like to engage them in a lot of activities and question them as to why they're using the product and what they can gain if they quit smoking.
In recent years, numerous municipalities in California have adopted policies prohibiting smoking in outdoor dining areas. Now, why should we care about smoke-free outdoor dining? Because it's outdoors after all.
So the U.S. Surgeon General states that there is no risk-free level of secondhand smoke exposure. It actually is classified as a toxic air contaminant. And certain studies have actually shown that concentrations of secondhand smoke outdoors can be high or even higher than some concentrations in some indoor areas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's crazy. And then tobacco smoke has over 7,000 chemicals, of which 70 can cause cancer. And it's easily can transport from place to place if there's a draft or just wind. And depending on the weather and the airflow, it can travel up to 25 to 30 feet away.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you had any experiences with people smoking in outdoor dining areas?
Yeah, well, for me, I dined at a restaurant a couple of times, and I sat outside with my friends, and there was a couple of people who were smoking out there because it's allowed in Santa Clara. But I didn't really say anything because I'm not really a confrontational person.
Right.
So usually I'll just try to breathe in an area where...
Hold your breath?
Yeah, hold my breath, or just put my clothes to my mouth and nose and try to breathe through that.
How about you, Maddie?
Yeah, where I go to school in Oregon, I went to a restaurant with a casual friend of mine. We were with a group of people, and he was vaping next to me, and he was sitting so close to me that he kept blowing it in my face, and I couldn't stop coughing, which I guess wasn't enough of a hint to stop, so I politely asked him to stop, which was fine since he was a friend of mine, and he respected that.
Do you think the best thing to do in these situations is to not be too aggressive about it?
I think there's many options for you to do. You can leave the restaurant, go to a different one. You can speak to the manager, ask them if they can move you to another seat, or ask the other customer to put out their cigarette or other tobacco product that they're using. You can also ask them in a friendly manner like Maddie did, and see if they would respond. Usually when you do it in a friendly manner, I feel like people respond more positively.
I agree.
Yeah, and then you can also call our secondhand smoke helpline. We offer services like questions, or we respond to complaints on there. So we can also work with the restaurant and try to help them become smoke-free. Or if it's in a city where a smoke-free policy is already implemented, we can inform the restaurant manager of the complaint and work with them to resolve that issue so it no longer happens.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. Now, does a smoke-free outdoor dining policy hurt business?
So that's a really big misconception. It actually increases profits, decreases maintenance costs, decreases insurance rates for both health and fires, and it also decreases absenteeism and lost productivity. And 79.8% of Santa Clara residents actually prefer smoke-free outdoor dining.
In 2003, the e-cigarette was invented in China by a pharmacist, of all people, and their use has spiked in the past decade, especially among teens. Are they as detrimental to our health as regular cigarettes?
So e-cigarettes that haven't been tampered with are necessarily, yes, less harmful than cigarettes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not harmful at all. They do contain nicotine, volatile organic compounds, tiny particles, and carcinogens in them. So when you're inhaling that, all those get inhaled into your lungs. And because it's only been on the market for not even 20 years, it's kind of hard to tell what the health risk or health effects are for this thing. For using e-cigarettes, but there have been recent studies that shown that it actually does affect your heart, so it can cause cardiovascular disease.
So what are some of the myths about e-cigarettes?
There's actually a lot of myths out there about e-cigarettes. One of the biggest ones is that it's just water vapor. I think that is advertised and marketed that way so that it seems like e-cigarettes are less harmful, and when you consume it, like nothing would happen because it's just water vapor, right?
Right.
But it's actually an aerosol. So when you use it, it's like just putting a can of hairspray and just spraying it into your mouth and just inhaling that. So it's not safe for you. And it does contain all those chemicals like I mentioned before. Another myth is that some of the products don't contain nicotine because it's advertised that way, but that's actually false. So some studies actually went and sampled some of those products that say they're nicotine free and have found traces of nicotine in them. So right now the FDA is trying to regulate e-cigarettes and like the products that come with it, like the juices and stuff, but they haven't been able to do so just yet, just because they're so busy. So we won't be seeing that for a couple of years. So it's kind of hard to tell what's in each product because all of them are different and made by different companies. Another really big myth is that it can help people quit smoking. That's actually not true. Switching isn't quitting, you're still using a tobacco product, and the FDA hasn't found any e-cigarette product to be useful in helping someone quit smoking. One last myth is that it doesn't produce a harmful secondhand emission. That's also false. It actually produces a secondhand aerosol, and because I mentioned it does contain like volatile organic compounds, nicotine, carcinogens, you are releasing that into the environment and other people are inhaling it, and just because it smells good doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for you.
Right. I didn't realize that it was not regulated but by the FDA, so there's no regulation at all right now?
They want to regulate it. They have stated that they are going to regulate it.
But currently there's no regulation?
No, there is not.
It sounds like Breathe California is involved with many worthwhile goals. Now, how can the community get involved with some of these goals?
The community can visit our website or call us, and we can give them many different ways that they can help out. Big things we need are volunteers, which we haven't had enough of recently. We'd love more volunteers. And we also have interns. You can intern with us. Whatever your skill is, we can use it. And another group we have is Youth for Lungs, which we are always asking for people to join.
What are Youth for Lungs? What does that involve?
So Youth for Lungs is a group of young leaders who work on the tobacco program with me. They do a lot of advocacy and educating policymakers, and they do like a lot of like testimonial work, and they have a lot of trainings. So it's a really good opportunity for youth who want to get involved. So
are these mostly teenagers?
Yes, they're mostly teenagers, but a lot of people who are in college can join as well.
Oh, excellent. And what qualifications do you have to become an intern?
I'm in college right now. I'm going to be a senior. I'm not sure exactly what.
There is actually no qualifications, but it is kind of competitive because we do get a lot of people who send resumes out. So in that sense, you want to have like good educational skills, presentation skills, and stuff like that.
So you get a lot of applications?
Yeah. During the school year, we get a lot because a lot of students need to fulfill requirements if they're trying to complete school.
And do you put on events during the year in order to raise awareness of lung health issues?
Yeah, we have several events that we put on. A lot of them we do in conjunction with other people. One that we talked a little bit about previously was our asthma camp, Camp Super Stuff, which we put on. We get that on a lot of community calendars, and we really try to get kids and parents aware so they can sign up. We've even had parents who come back and tell us how much their kids loved it the year before and how they've been talking about it all year and can't wait to come back. So that's really fun for them.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and then another really big event that we do is our annual Breath of Life walk. It's a walk for asthma. And that's another way that the community can get involved. We're always needing volunteers for the walk. We need people to walk in the walk, and then we're always looking for donors as well.
How long is the walk?
It's a 5K, I believe. Yeah, it's a 5K walk. We have people who are breathing impaired, so you can run if you want, but a lot of people are walking. We have people with asthma, family members, people who just want to come out and support.
Now, is that a fundraiser or
Yeah,
not?
it's a fundraiser. So we have donors, and then we also sometimes we will charge a small fee for the walkers to come in, and we use that money to raise awareness about asthma through our organization.
Now, I hear that you also have a senior program. Can you tell me about your senior program?
Yeah, so we provide a lot of education to seniors, and we'll go to senior centers and we'll do blood pressure, we'll take a respiratory test for them or like a lung screening. But mostly it's just education and providing services. We also, like I mentioned before, provide cessation services for them.
So you reach out to the various senior centers in the Bay Area and offer your services?
Yeah, most of the time they really like the services, so we do it like yearly.
What other programs does Breathe California offer?
So we offer the asthma program as well, and in that program it kind of entails doing indoor air quality assessments, educating parents and children, and also like school teachers or child care providers about asthma, some ways to look out for an attack, and like how to help the child when they have an attack. We also have the Sleep Safe program, like Maddie mentioned, where we offer people CPAP and BiPAP machines at a discounted rate. I think that's like one of the most popular programs that we have. Like 99% of our calls are for CPAP.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
That's really
We have people coming in a
unusual.
lot who are very, very grateful for access to the machines at such a low rate because they can be so expensive.
Yeah.
So
And they
that-
can make a huge difference in people's lives.
That's wonderful that you offer that
Yeah.
service. So I guess it's the expense of the machine that makes it so popular, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very expensive. They're the most common treatment for sleep apnea. I've seen my dad go through several of the machines because sometimes they don't work and sometimes
really?
you need a new one, just because each time you need to get a prescription and it's specifically set for you.
Doesn't the government have assistance in paying for the equipment?
I think some insurance does cover part of it, but a lot of insurance does not.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's where we come in with our program. We're available to
Yeah.
offer them at a lower price.
Oh, that really is a good service.
Yeah.
Now, you started out in 1911 as the Tuberculosis Society, and you still have a tuberculosis program with Breathe California, don't you?
Yes, we do, and we provide a lot of education in multiple languages. So we provide it in Vietnamese, in English, and in Spanish. And typically we'll go to the English language learner classes, and we'll provide that information out there. Because in Santa Clara County, the people that are most at risk usually are not born in the U.S., and that's how we try to reach out to them.
Yes, I have read that California has the highest rate of tuberculosis in the United States. And is that due to the fact that we have lots of immigrants from other parts of the world?
It may be, yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but it could be.
And tuberculosis is still one of the leading causes of death throughout the world after all these years.
Yeah, it is. It's a really expensive, and it's you need a lot of education so that you can prevent it from spreading.
So what kind of education do you provide? What are some of the things that you tell people about tuberculosis?
So we'll give them some signs when they should go visit a doctor, some treatment options for them, because there's various ones, and the importance of following that treatment program, because it is a long treatment. I think it's maybe 6 months or longer.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and you have to take it every single day, so it's a really long thing, and sometimes people stop doing it, and then that would prevent them from receiving like the treatment properly. And we also just let them know that if there is someone that they know that has tuberculosis, there's ways to prevent it from spreading, just by like covering your mouth, washing your hands.
Are most of your clients referred to you by their healthcare providers, or how do these clients come to your attention?
For tuberculosis, we outreach to them, but for other programs like the CPAP, the Sleep Safe program that we have, we get a lot of referrals from like Kaiser or other insurance companies. For the Tobacco Cessation, we get referred a lot from the Santa Clara Family Health Plan.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a pretty popular program too?
Yeah, it is.
Because it's so hard to quit smoking,
It
as
is.
I can attest to.
Yeah, I think the average person tries at least 7 to 11 times before they're successful.
I only stopped once, and the reason I didn't go back to smoking was because it was so difficult. I couldn't ever go back to that experience again.
Yeah.
So I'm one of the few people who only stopped one time. Well, thank you so much, Michelle and Madison, for giving us some very valuable information.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
Thank you
us.
for being with us. Thanks again to Michelle and Madison for telling us about this very dedicated organization for a very good cause. And thank you for being with us today, and be sure to watch us on YouTube and Roku. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Dedicated to fighting lung disease, advocating for clean air, and advancing public health, 5 Breathe California offices are networked across the state to impact lung health at the local, regional, and state levels. We've spent over 100 years helping empower individual, institutional, and community change for better breathing and healthier living. For those of us living with asthma, lung cancer, emphysema, chronic bronchitis, tuberculosis, and other forms of lung disease, the essential act of breathing can be a constant struggle. Did you know 95% of Californians live in areas failing to meet health standards for air pollutants? That tobacco is the single most preventable cause of death, and 4,700 Californians die each year as a result of secondhand smoke. And that 1 in 10 school-age children in California suffers from asthma, and in some areas that number is as high as 1 in 6. Lung disease should not be the second leading cause of death in the United States. At Breathe California, we work to empower communities to effect change for improved lung health, educate our diverse communities about lung disease, provide support services to assist those living with lung disease, advocate for policies that promote clean air and public health, and support research to find cures, improve treatments, and prevent lung disease. We invite you to join us. Be a voice for change in your community, and help us identify and change ineffective policies, as well as develop policies that will truly make a difference for you, your family, your neighborhood, and all of California. Learn more here.